name is Mark Hobart. I'm a catastrophist. Together with my colleague here, Cola, we are presenting the Essential Concepts videos series. And today's episode is the introductory video number 2, Pascal's wager, on the PowerPoint, which is available on the website essentialconceptsinc.com. We have this full PowerPoint for your review. The references for this presentation are, of course, the Bible, Pascal's wager, which is described in Wikipedia, referencing his posthumous thinking reminiscences in Pensives in 1670, As a Man Thinketh on the bottom shelf, Whatever Became Sin by Carl Menninger on the middle shelf, and my favorite, Weighing the Soul, The Evolution of Scientific Beliefs. And the War on Science here is by National Geographic, The Age of Disbelief. We begin with the essential concepts of catastrophic thinking. 12 tools of caveat listed here. Lead with the 3. It's called catastrophic assumptions, values, and expectations in analysis and thinking. That's what the caveat stands for. Perspectives and tools of thinking are in the poster, The Art of Thinking. We seek a consensus to create better public policies for surviving catastrophes. And the question comes up, what about faith? Foundations of thinking usually include faith, spirituality, morals, and beliefs. The purpose and mission of your life is to survive a catastrophe. It's just hard enough to form a consensus without faith. Faith is essential to survival. Psalm 23, yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. That gives you a kind of, let's leave it in the hands of God. The book of Job talks about tribulations on earth and how you should keep your head when all about you are losing theirs. And that's what faith provides you with, is the ability to keep your head. Indeed, there are 3 key decisions in life, and as you might imagine, the first one is your faith. That's the timeless or the eternal question. Second is your spouse. And third is your passion or purpose, often shown by what education you choose, what career you choose, and what your hobbies or passions are. So what should you believe in? Christianity, Judaism, or Islam? And if you look at the 3 scriptures, the scriptures of the Bible, as well as the Old Testament or the Quran, you'll see that they are interrelated. They all worship the same God. Catastrophic thinking works for any of these choices because we all want to survive. So consensus is possible for mainstream faiths. We can ignore the suicidal elements like terrorists, anarchists, extremists of any faith who have a desire to be martyrs. Now, the other big category is atheists and agnostics, and for that I turn to Blaise Pascal, who lived from 1623 to 1662. He postulated that gambling your soul on what you believe is an all-encompassing purpose of life. Published in the work called Pensives, Decision Theory, Logic, Game Theory, these all kind of originated with him. How do you make a decision? How do you use logic? How do you game eternity? And so he came up with Pascal's wager. You either believe God exists or he doesn't exist. That's 100% of the possibilities. You believe in God or you do not believe in God. And then he goes through the 4 outcomes. God exists, you believe in God, you go to heaven. There are, of course, a lot of variations on that, but basically, God exists, you believe in heaven, and you believe in God. You do not believe in God, God exists, he'll send you to hell. You know, if you're determined to go to hell, the Bible teaches that you will succeed. There's a poster for that. God does not exist. Well, then you've got your finite gain, and what you believe on here on earth is a finite loss. Or if you don't believe in God, you have a finite gain in that you can do anything you want. This analysis really upset atheists. You can hear them in their writings sputtering angrily at his logic. Pierre-Simon Laplace criticized using probability in theology. Voltaire called the wager indecent and childish, and the reason is incapable of divining the truth. He also said that it was at best a faint belief if you based your belief in God on this wager. The bettor assumes that God will honor the bet. Well, that's what the whole Bible and the Quran are about, is how to get there. I have this improvement to Pascal's wager. If God exists and you believe in him, you go to heaven. If he exists and you do not believe in him, you go to hell. But if he does not exist and you believe in him, you will never know that you were incorrect. And if God does not exist and you do not believe in him, you will never know that you were correct. Did I say correct earlier or incorrect? Reply to Voltaire's misgivings: faint faith to wager your soul based on logic, pretending to be a Christian by doing good works. There's no guarantee God will accept your good works and admit you into heaven. Okay, here's my response to that. Jesus condemned such hypocrisy, and there's the citations there. Good works are weak, and no faith and you shouldn't do them, because good works will be rejected by God unless you believe. So pretend to be a Christian. Live your life as though you believe. And the fruits of the Spirit are listed in these citations: Galatians 5:22, Colossians 3:12, etc. There's about 30 fruits to believing: love, patience, kindness, gentleness, joy, compassion, and the list goes on and on. All told, there's about 30 of them. Romans 2:14 and 16 says, if you don't believe, your faith is not a constant. It can grow or be lost. Exercise your faith by doing good works. God is not done with you yet. There's 5 reasons to do good works, even if your faith is faint or weak. You're witnessing to the world that good works matter. Second, you are embarrassing to self-righteous people who are doing nothing. It will be easier for you to do good works going forward, and it is easier to focus on others. There's no stress involved. It's healthier, and good works get done. So those are the 5 reasons to do good works, regardless of whether you believe. Science has been a kind of faith, more ink than blood shed over this false economy. I'm an evolutionary Christian. I believe in both. National Geographic had an article, The Age of Disbelief, in March 2015. And then finally, one of my favorite books, Weighing the Soul by Len Fisher. This is a book about how he came to the conclusion that your soul weighs something when you die. A dog doesn't have a soul, and so when it dies, it doesn't lose any weight. And that's all discussed in this book, and I commend that to you, Weighing the Soul. The key catastrophic thinking concept is that people must act responsibly and morally. The problem with society today is that large numbers of people cannot be counted on to behave themselves in a crisis. They become looters, rioters, anarchists, criminals. And there's a book about that, about Whatever Became of Sin by Carl Menninger. I commit that to you. You are what you think. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen is a book about you become what you believe. If you believe it or fake it, remember, you're gambling with your soul. And then I include at the end the appendix of key slides, like Pascal's wager, pretending to be a Christian, doing good works, and some other slides for you to look at. And I'll end every video with a prayer for peace. Thank you.